Well, ladies and gentlemen, here is a video we haven't done in a very long time. Your favorite grifter, aka the biggest race grifter, no pun intended, is now officially back in the headlines. And the funny thing is, Ismael Cruz Cordova, who was also a race grifter on Rings of Power, is also returning to the headlines. It's amazing how they're all coming back now after how many months of silence now? Probably almost damn near a year, it feels like, at this point, of silence. And yet here we are. They are back getting ready to ramp up the race grifting for Rings of Power Season 2. Now, Rings of Power holds a special place in my heart because it was the first thing that blew up the channel. And it says, the Lord of the Rings of Power actress Sophia Nomvette says, I was statistically the most attacked cast member, ladies and gentlemen. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. We're back to the race grifting. Yes, Sophia Nomvette is back, and she is saying that she was the most attacked cast member by far, which is hilarious because if I remember correctly, Morfydd Clark was the one who was attacked the most for being an absolutely god-awful iteration of Galadriel, and Sophia Nomvette's character, Disa, was long forgotten because she was barely in any scenes. If you were to combine the amount of time that she was on screen, it would probably equate to 30 minutes over the entire 8-hour long of episodes. So again, guys, let's get into this article from Bounding Into Comics, but of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 23,000 subscribers. It says the cast of Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings of Power continues to claim they are victims of racism, with Sophia Nomvette doubling down on her previous claim. Oh, she's back. Oh, I'm so excited. Sophia, I missed you, Sophia. She's back. During an appearance at the Hollywood Reporter's Raising Our Voices luncheon, and specifically in a discussion titled The State of Inclusion in Storytelling, Nomvette relayed that her being cast as Disa was a huge moment, both personally and professionally, and I think I kind of skipped in naively thinking that it's going to be great. I'm a dwarf, it's going to be such fun. From there, she claimed she repeatedly attacked when the announcement came out and pictures went up about just our faces of who we were playing. I was statistically the most attacked cast member of the entire show. She continued, there were N-bombs. I had no place here. You're too fat. You're too black. Why are you here? I had one that was actually very polite who said, I'm sure that you're a wonderful actress and a really lovely person. I just don't think you should be part of this. It's not right. If you could potentially just send a letter to Amazon with your resignation, I'd be very grateful. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I can't afford to resign for you, so sadly, I'm here to stay. Even as her family was threatened, Nomvette said, oh man, they are definitely trying to push the victim narrative, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you it's only a matter of time before they come out with even more interviews and articles as Rings of Power Season 2 starts to ramp up. They're going to come up with more articles talking about how she is definitely being held down by the white man. She's being held down by the white man, ladies and gentlemen. The white man's trying to absolutely destroy her life and destroy her career, even though she went basically media silent after Rings of Power Season 1, hasn't done a damn thing worthy of note, and now she's coming back for Rings of Power Season 2, and all of a sudden she's back in the news again. Amazon and Disney, those companies, they love using their black actors to push the narrative and to run the race grift because it brings them views at the end of the day. That's what it is. It brings them views from the people they're trying to virtue signal to. It says she went on to claim that getting paid to play the race swap character is an act of defiance. The actress asserted, I realize that my place in this show is not just a celebration, it is an act of defiance against a reality that is simply not true, which is that we have no place on screens or in fantasy spaces. That is not what people have been saying. Please stop that bullshit. Please stop that falsification. That is not what people are saying at all. All people are saying, especially people who are fans of Tolkien's work, is that the source material is very specifically written. The man spent his entire life creating a mythos specifically written and described, and you are going against what was written and described because you want to interject modern identity politics into this TV show. That is the problem. This has no place for your politics. Your politics mean nothing to anybody. All that means anything to anybody who's a fan of Lord of the Rings is how Tolkien wrote it and how it is described. So we want to see it written and described on screen. Nobody's saying you got to follow the timeline exactly, but when you have a character show up on screen, it should be described as Tolkien written. And the funny thing is, you're not even a character he wrote. You don't exist in the lore at all whatsoever. You are made up for literal diversity hire. You are made up for the show, which makes it even more insulting, which makes it even more hilarious that you want to be respected as a character in the show, but your character doesn't even fucking exist in the source material. So again, you can call this a nerd rage all you want, but at the end of the day, you're trying to make it into this grand thing of nobody wants to see black people on screen, but it's bullshit. We just don't want you depicted as a character that is not black in the source material. There are plenty of black characters in the source material that you could have been depicted as, but they chose not to do it because they want the clout, ladies and gentlemen. They know that all the normies know. What do they know? What do they know? Dwarves, elves, hobbits, right? They know all that shit. So what did they race swap? Dwarves, elves, and hobbits. That's what they race swap because they know the normies are going to be like, oh, I know what that is. But if you want to talk about the people of Harad, oh, I have no idea what that is. What the hell is the Haradrim? I have no idea. So again, they didn't do that because they know that the real black-skinned characters in the stories don't have clout with the normies. Thus, they need to race swap the ones that do because they only see validity in the white characters. It says Nomvette is intentionally lying as most of the criticism surrounding the casting has not been about black people not being allowed on screens or in fantasy spaces. It has been about the show diverging from Tolkien's source material, whether that's in how the characters look in Princess Disa's case, or how the show characterized Galadriel, which was a big fail, Elrond, which is another big fail, and Gil-galad, or even how it depicted the forging of the 3 elven rings, which was completely made up as well. All of it. The entire TV show, if you are a fan of Tolkien's work, the entire TV show is a bastardization of that work. There is no reason to fall in love with this TV show or even expect it to be anywhere close to lore accurate. They don't even try, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing about Peter Jackson's trilogy, right? We do know that Peter Jackson changed a bunch of things from the source material, absolutely, but the fucking man at least tried. He tried to portray the characters the way that they were written. He tried to portray the overarching story the way it was presented, and he might have changed some things here and there, but overall, it follows the books pretty much as close as humanly possible from a movie standpoint. So again, people, you had 8 hours. You had 8 hours, and you guys did nothing with it. It was the most boring TV show I ever saw, and I couldn't even believe it had the Lord of the Rings name attached to it. That made it even more insulting. So it says, one needs only to look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe to see that. The universe launched with a stinger credit with Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury discussing the Avengers Project in 2008's Iron Man. Jackson is about to reprise his role in both Secret Invasion and The Marvels, which both drop later this year. One can go back even further and see that James Earl Jones voiced one of the most iconic fantasy characters ever created in Darth Vader. He also played Thulsa Doom in Conan the Barbarian back in 1982. Billy D. Williams joined Jones in Star Wars as Lando Calrissian. He would also play the role of Harvey Dent in 1989's Batman. Wesley Snipes also played Blade back in 1998. The film was so successful it turned into a trilogy. Nichelle Nicholas played Uhura in Star Trek for 68 episodes between 1966 and 1969. Avery Brooks played Benjamin. You guys get the point. Black people have been on screen for decades, and they're trying to make it seem as if black people being on screen now is supposed to be some massive progressive movement that people are supposed to care about, but ultimately it's all bullshit. It's race grifting, ladies and gentlemen. That's all this is. Sophia Nomvette is a hardcore race grifter, and she is being paid by Amazon to run it for them. She is running the ball of race grifting, and we're back at it, people. So I hope you're excited because Rings of Power Season 2 is going to start kicking off over time, and these articles are going to become more and more plentiful, and we will roast it as time goes on. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.